Hello and welcome to this new edition of News Today. Without delay, let's dive into today's headlines. Delhi High Court granted protection to personality rights of a famous Bollywood actor. Convention on Biological Diversity's scientific body adopted recommendations to implement Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. India-UAE conclude first round of talks on India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice calls for steps against transnational organized crimes. Severe decline in large farmland trees in India over the past decade, says study. WHO updated its Bacterial Priority Pathogens List 2024. Starting with the very first news. Delhi High Court granted protection to personality rights of a famous Bollywood actor. The court, in an interim order, has restrained various entities, including e-commerce stores and AI chatbots, from misusing the actor's name, image, voice and likeness without his consent. Let's start by understanding about the personality rights first. Personality rights encompass the right of an individual to protect various aspects of their identity, such as their name, voice, signature, and images which are easily identifiable as markers of their personality. Personality rights are not expressly mentioned in any statute in India but are traced to fall under right to privacy and right to property. Key components of personality rights includes the right to publicity, which involves safeguarding one's image and likeness from unauthorized commercial exploitation without permission. It is governed by statutes like the Trademarks Act 1999 and the Copyright Act 1957. Next is the right to privacy, which entails the right to prevent the public representation of one's personality without consent. It is broadly governed under Article 21 of the Constitution and the Supreme Court judgment in the Justice K.S. Puttaswamy case 2017. Further, if we talk about the posthumous personality rights, then in the case of derogatory representation of a deceased individual's reputation or their family, a defamation suit can be filed under the Indian Penal Code. Additionally, the Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act 1950 protects against unauthorized use of certain dignitaries' names and symbols listed in its schedule. Further, several judicial pronouncements have shaped the landscape of personality rights in India. First is the ICC Development International Limited versus RV Enterprises 2003 of Delhi High Court. It emphasized that any attempt to infringe upon an individual's publicity right would violate Articles 19 and 21 of the Constitution. Next is Arun Jaitley versus Network Solutions Private Limited and Others case 2011 of Delhi High Court. This case affirmed that an individual's popularity or fame holds the same significance on the internet as it does in reality. And lastly, there is Deepa Jayakumar versus A.L. Vijay 2019 of Madras High Court. It established that an individual's personality, publicity and privacy rights cannot be inherited by their legal heir after their demise. The recent ruling by the Delhi High Court not only underscores the significance of safeguarding personality rights in the digital age, but also reaffirms the legal protection afforded to individuals against unauthorized exploitation of their persona. In our next news, Convention on Biological Diversity's scientific body adopted recommendations to implement Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. In a major step towards safeguarding the planet's rich biodiversity, the scientific body of the Convention on Biological Diversity has adopted crucial recommendations to implement the groundbreaking Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. This non-binding framework, adopted at the 15th Conference of Parties to the CBD in Montreal last December, aims to halt and reverse the alarming trend of biodiversity loss by 2030. The Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework sets an ambitious agenda with 23 targets to be achieved by 2030. These targets include conserving 30% of land, sea and inland water areas, as well as restoring 30% of degraded ecosystems. Moreover, the framework outlines 4 overarching goals to be attained by 2050, encompassing ecosystem and species health, sustainable use of biodiversity, equitable sharing of benefits, and closing the staggering biodiversity finance gap of $700 billion per year. While the framework provides a blueprint for action, the recent recommendations by the CBD's scientific body offer vital guidance on its implementation. Among the key recommendations are advancing new work in areas such as biodiversity, including spatial planning and sustainable biodiversity-based activities. Additionally, the scientific body emphasizes the need for adequate financial resources, capacity building, and ensuring that the rights of indigenous peoples and local communities are respected throughout the implementation process. Further, if we talk about the Convention on Biological Diversity, then it is an international treaty adopted at the 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, also known as the Rio Earth Summit. Headquartered in Montreal, Canada, the CBD boasts a membership of 196 countries, including India. As a party to the convention, every member country is required to have a national biodiversity strategy and action plan, with India enacting the Biological Diversity Act in 2002 to fulfill this obligation. The adoption of these recommendations marks a significant milestone in the global effort to protect and preserve the planet's invaluable biodiversity. In our next news, India-UAE conclude first round of talks on India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. A high-level Indian delegation recently concluded talks with the UAE focusing on developing major shipping hubs. Earlier, India-UAE Intergovernmental Framework Agreement on IMEC was approved for exploring further potential of future joint investment and collaboration. Let's dive into the details of this ambitious project IMEC. This is a proposed transit network which aims to seamlessly integrate Asia, the Middle East, and Europe through a vast network of railroads, ship-to-rail connections, and road transport routes. Well, it was established by signing a Memorandum of Understanding at the recent New Delhi G20 summit by India, the European Union, France, Germany, Italy, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and the United States. A true global collaboration aimed at enhancing connectivity and trade flows. Now let's explore the significance of this massive undertaking. IMEC serves as an acknowledgement by Western powers like the US and European Union of the rising influence of non-Western nations. It's expected to facilitate increased flow of energy and digital communications while also speeding up trade between India and Europe. Moreover, this corridor will undoubtedly strengthen India's strategic engagement with the Arab world and make the global supply chain more resilient. Some even view it as an alternative approach to China's Belt and Road Initiative. However, like any ambitious project, IMEC faces its fair share of challenges. The complex geopolitics of the region, including Israel-Hamas-Iran crisis and the lack of official diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel could pose hurdles. Additionally, securing financial commitments from all parties involved will be crucial.
In our next news, at the recently concluded 33rd session of the CCPCJ, the heads of the FATF, Interpol, and United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime called for disincentivizing criminal activity through steps like targeting illicit profits and enhancing effectiveness of crime prevention efforts. To begin with, the CCPCJ was established by a resolution of the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, in 1992 to serve as the principal policy-making body of the UN in the field of crime prevention and criminal justice. With the membership of 40 member states elected by ECOSOC and chaired by a bureau, the Commission plays a crucial role in shaping international policies and strategies. Now, let's discuss the key outcomes of the session. During the 33rd session, the CCPCJ adopted 4 thematic resolutions addressing critical issues such as countering trafficking in persons in the context of rapid technological change, the treatment of children associated with terrorist groups, reducing reoffending through rehabilitation and reintegration, and preventing and countering violence against children by organized criminal groups and terrorist groups. Furthermore, the Commission launched the Generation Justice Initiative, a groundbreaking endeavor aimed at engaging youth from across the globe in shaping the international agenda on crime prevention and criminal justice. This initiative recognizes the importance of empowering the younger generation in addressing the complex challenges posed by transnational organized crimes. Wrapping up, take a closer look at the meaning of transnational organized crimes. Transnational organized crimes are illegal activities conducted by groups or networks operating in 2 or more countries, engaging in violence, corruption, or related activities to obtain financial or material benefits. These crimes encompass a wide range of illicit activities, including drug trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling of migrants, and various other forms of organized criminal enterprises. The 33rd session of the CCPCJ has set the stage for a concerted global effort against transnational organized crimes, emphasizing the need to target illicit profits, enhance crime prevention measures, and engage youth in shaping the international agenda, fostering a more secure and just world. In our next news, a recent study conducted by researchers at the University of Copenhagen, Denmark, has raised concerns about the severe decline of large farmland trees in India over the past decade. Based on the analysis of satellite imagery, the findings reveal alarming statistics that highlight the potential impact on the environment and agricultural practices. Let's begin with discussing the key findings of the study. According to the study, 11% of fully grown trees present in 2010-11 were no longer visible when reviewed between 2018 and 2022. This alarming trend suggests that India may have lost an estimated 5.6 million full-grown trees in agricultural lands during the period of 2019 to 22 alone. Several hotspot areas have lost up to 50% of their large farmland trees as observed in Telangana and Maharashtra. The potential drivers of this tree loss include climate change, alterations in cultivation practices, perception of relatively low benefits, etc. The decline in farmland trees is concerning because agroforestry, which involves the integration of trees, crops and livestock on the same land, plays a crucial role in enhancing farm productivity and resilience while delivering numerous vital ecological services. Agroforestry encompasses various practices such as agri-silviculture, which is cultivation of livestock and trees, silvopastoral, which means managing livestock and trees together, and agro-silvopastoral includes managing livestock, pastures and trees at the same time. Furthermore, let's take a look at the benefits of agroforestry. It enhances ecosystem services such as nutrient cycling and improves soil microclimate. In terms of economic benefits, it provides income diversification for farmers and reduces instances of total crop failure. Lastly, improvement in nutrition and health due to increased quality and diversity of food outputs are some important social benefits. To promote agroforestry in India, several initiatives have been undertaken, including the National Agroforestry Policy of 2014, the Submission on Agroforestry under the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, the Agroforestry component under the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, and the GROW, Greening and Restoration of Wasteland with Agroforestry Suitability Mapping Portal by Niti Aayog. In our next news, in a significant move to combat the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance, the World Health Organization has updated its Bacterial Priority Pathogens List (BPPL) for 2024. This crucial list, first published in 2017, serves as a global tool for guiding activities associated with the surveillance and control of antimicrobial resistance (AMR). The updated list for 2024 includes 15 families of antibiotic-resistant pathogens categorized into critical, high, and medium priorities based on priority for R&D and for public health measures. Antimicrobial resistance occurs when microbes such as bacteria, fungi, parasites, and viruses evolve to become resistant to existing antimicrobial drugs, rendering these drugs ineffective. These evolved, harder-to-treat pathogens are referred to as superbugs. The spread of AMR is driven by various biological factors including gene transfer and mutation, as well as societal factors such as inappropriate use of antibiotics, inadequate diagnostics, and poor infection control practices. However, controlling AMR faces significant challenges, including the over-the-counter sales of antibiotics, lack of surveillance and monitoring systems, and limited research and development efforts. To address this global health threat, certain initiatives have been taken such as One Health Approach, the Global Action Plan on AMR, and the World AMR Awareness Week at the international level. In terms of national initiatives, efforts include the implementation of the National Action Plan on AMR, the establishment of an AMR surveillance network by the Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR), and the banning of inappropriate fixed-dose combination drugs. The updated Bacterial Priority Pathogens List (BPPL) 2024 from the WHO highlights the urgent need for concerted global efforts to combat antimicrobial resistance, which poses a severe threat to public health and requires a multifaceted approach and increased investment in R&D. In today's Personality in News, we will discuss about Fakir Lalon Shah. An Indo-Bangla Ball Music Festival is organized in Dhaka to celebrate the 250th birth anniversary of Fakir Lalon Shah. He was born in Horishpur in Janeda district of modern Bangladesh. He was a contemporary of Ramakrishna Paramhans and Swami Vivekanand. Let's take a look at his key contributions. He founded the Lalon Akhada, which had around 10,000 followers across all religions and is considered as father of ball music. In 2008, ball songs are listed under UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. He also influenced personalities like Rabindranath Tagore and Nazrul Islam and exemplified values of devotion, humanism, selflessness, empathy, etc.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Drugs Controller General of India has asked for timely reporting of adverse events related to medical devices on the MVPI platform. MVPI was launched in 2015. It monitors medical device associated adverse events or MDAE and creates awareness among the healthcare professionals about the importance of MDAE. FSSAI alerts fruit traders to ensure compliance with prohibition of calcium carbide in fruit ripening. Calcium carbide is prepared by heating quicklime with coke and releases acetylene gas which contains harmful traces of arsenic and phosphorus. A new type of financial fraud called pig butchering scams are increasing worldwide, including in India. Pig butchering scam, also known as Shah Pan scam, it is used to describe a scam perpetrated over a long period of time to steal the victim's money repeatedly via online apps. UN-designated World Bee Day is observed on May 20th. Bees are pollinators, contributing directly to food security and conserving biodiversity. Purnima Devi Burman received the 2024 Whiteley Gold Award, dubbed Green Oscar, for conserving greater adjutant stock. Greater adjutant stock, also known as Hargila, only found in Assam and Bihar of India and Cambodia. Scientists have discovered 1.5 billion-year-old giant viruses in Yellowstone National Park. Giant viruses refers to their exceptionally large genomes compared to more common viruses. They do not pose any risk to humans. Astronomers under the Speculus project had detected a new Earth-sized exoplanet and named it as Speculus 3b. An exoplanet is any planet beyond our solar system. They can either orbit other stars or can also be free-floating. Starlink satellite internet service has been launched in Bali, Indonesia. Starlink is the name of a satellite network of SpaceX to provide low-cost internet to remote locations. Before we wrap up today's bulletin, it's time to put your knowledge to the test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this edition of News Today. For the solutions to today's quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.